In a climate-controlled vault in Stockholm lies the largest medieval book on Earth. It stands nearly a meter tall, weighs 75 kilograms, and took the skins of 160 animals to make. Legend says it was written in a single night by a monk who had help from the devil himself. And on page 577, that helper appears, a full-page portrait of Satan glaring out of the book he supposedly co-wrote. The legend goes like this. A monk in a Bohemian monastery broke his vows so gravely that he was sentenced to be walled up alive. He bargained for his life with an impossible promise. In one night, he would write a book containing all human knowledge. As midnight closed in and the task swallowed him, he prayed not to God, but downward. The devil finished the book, and the monk added his portrait in payment. The reality is stranger in its own way. The Codex Gigas was created around the year 1230 at the small, poor monastery of Podlažice in Bohemia. Analysis of the handwriting reveals something remarkable. One single scribe wrote the entire book, every line of it, with such unwavering consistency that scholars estimate the work took him at least 5 years of continuous writing. If it was a penance, it was one measured in decades of a life. And it truly does try to hold all knowledge. Inside is the complete Bible, and packed around it, an entire library, the histories of Josephus, Isidore of Seville's Encyclopedia of Everything, a chronicle of Bohemia, medical textbooks, a calendar of saints, plus stranger cargo, formulas for exorcism, spells against thieves and fevers, the emergency toolkit of the medieval mind, bound into one impossible volume. Then comes the famous opening. On one page, the heavenly city serene towers behind protective walls. Directly opposite, alone in an empty frame, crouches the devil, half man, half beast, with a green face, red claws, and a forked tongue. No other medieval manuscript gives Satan a full-page portrait. The pages around him are visibly darker than the rest of the book, not scorched by evil, but worn by centuries of fingers turning to the one page everyone wanted to see. The book's travels read like a thriller. The monastery that made it went broke and pawned it. It passed between abbeys until 1594, when Emperor Rudolf II, Europe's great collector of the occult, patron of alchemists and astrologers, carried it off to Prague Castle. In his cabinet of wonders, the Devil's Bible sat alongside mandrake roots and unicorn horns, the crown jewel of a collection devoted to the edge of the knowable. In 1648, in the dying weeks of the 30 Years' War, Swedish troops stormed Prague Castle and stripped it of everything Rudolf had gathered. The Codex Gigas was hauled north as a trophy of war and presented to Queen Christina in Stockholm. The book that legend said was written in one Bohemian night had become Swedish state property, and it has remained in Stockholm ever since. It nearly died there. In 1697, the royal castle of Trekrona caught fire and the royal library burned around it. The story goes that the giant book was saved only when someone hurled it from a window, injuring a bystander below. The binding shows old damage. A handful of pages went missing around this time and have never been found. Even the Devil's Book, it seems, only barely escapes history's fires. In 2007, the Codex flew home to Prague for an exhibition, under guard, insured beyond price, examined page by modern science. The ink, the parchment, the handwriting all confirmed the single scribe theory, and researchers ran the numbers on the legend. Writing alone, non-stop, day and night, the book would take 5 years. With the illumination, closer to 20 or 30. One anonymous monk really did give his entire life to a single book. Which may be the truth hiding inside the legend. A book so vast that no one could believe a man had done it alone, so the devil was written into the margins to explain him. The monk's real name is lost. His penance, if it was one, is unrecorded. 8 of his pages are missing and unaccounted for to this day. But the book survives, one life pressed into vellum, the only medieval manuscript with the devil's own portrait and nobody's signature. Subscribe. The vault is full of books like this.